Hi, my name is Daniel Bainbridge from Malaysia Airlines. I'm based in London and I lead the team responsible for all the passenger revenue and commercial activity generated from the UK and Europe. Malaysia Airlines is a full-service premium carrier based in Kuala Lumpur with modern A350 flights operating from London to Kuala Lumpur and onward connections across Malaysia, ASEAN, Australia and New Zealand. So my first overseas cultural experience begins the day before my 16th birthday, and I embarked on a month-long interrail trip around Europe, much to the shock of my parents, as I was doing it single-handedly. And this was a very interesting time in Europe. And I happened to go across the main cities and cultural places, which was great fun. But one of the main things that was happening in Europe at that time was the fall of the Iron Curtain. And I was lucky enough to stay with friends in Berlin at the time around the Berlin Wall was coming down. And it was absolutely fascinating time of history to understand just the impact of that wall and the segregation and the history of Europe. And I think having that experience and traveling around Europe was absolutely key to understanding the value of education, the growth of knowledge and the power of travel in really helping people understand. And it shaped and influenced me in my career from that point and my values growing up. So I was very, 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 very grateful for that experience. So whilst Malaysia may be less well known than some of its closer Southeast Asian neighbours, there is plenty of reasons to visit Malaysia for the leisure traveller and for those seeking adventure. It's well known for its extraordinary natural diversity and vibrant culture, but part of this is the ethnic diverse makeup that Malaysia has. So it's got strong Malay influence, strong Chinese influence, strong Indian influence, and of course, European influence over the years. And although there are over 1,000 UNESCO World Heritage Sites across the globe, 4 of these are in Malaysia. Some would argue there should be more because there is plenty to offer. The places that I'm going to talk specifically about today are related to the Straits of Malacca and the absolutely fantastic old towns of Malacca and Georgetown in Penang. And this is a very interesting part of history from a Malaysian context. So Malacca, obviously the Portuguese and Malay influences from the 14th, 15th and 16th century have shaped the architecture, fortifications, churches and the buildings in Malacca. And then as we move up to the 18th century, the British have had a huge influence in Penang, in Georgetown. And what makes this so interesting really is the trade between East and West. So all of the trade that used to happen between East and West has heavily influenced Malacca and Georgetown and make for a really, really fascinating places to visit. I think the other place that I'd like to just draw attention to as well, for very, very different reasons from a heritage perspective, if I mention the word Perak Man, it's Southeast Asia's oldest skeleton, which is found in the Lenggong Valley in Malaysia. And this was discovered in 1991 and it's 11,000 years old. And this is a fascinating archaeological place in Malaysia where you can see evidence of remains and when human beings first moved from Africa over to Asia about 1.83 million years ago. And it really is a very, very, very interesting part of the country and one of the lesser known well parts of the country. So as Malaysia Airlines is the only airline flying from the UK to Kuala Lumpur, we have a very, very important role in promoting the destination and responsible and sustainable travel to Malaysia and the broader region. The key to this is working effectively with partners. We cannot do this ourselves. So working with tourist boards, working with tour operators, working with attractions, and working with hoteliers and partners, all of these make a absolutely critically stronger approach and integrated marketing plan into promoting a destination in a responsible way. So airlines have very traditional peak and off-peak periods. particularly Christmas times or key summer holidays, etc. However, there are ways in which we can adjust this to offset the seasonal demand very, very effectively. And that could be demand by hour of day, day of week, month of year, etc. And airlines use tools through sophisticated revenue management and inventory control and stimulating demand by price. It is within our interest to ensure that there is year-round demand for a destination. And the beauty of Malaysia is it's absolutely a perfect year-round destination. The weather is great all year round, and there are numerous attractions that can be enjoyed all year round. And in terms of attractions and what more destinations can do, is to promote those lesser known festivals or events that are happening at quieter times of year or in other parts of the country or region, which can really be very, very appealing. The key here is to educate, promote, and engage people that those are happening. This is absolutely such a key point. Travelers are increasingly looking for experiential experiences, looking for something new. It's not just about fly and flop or go to a beach, although there is a market for that clearly, but customers are looking for more. And what can destinations do? Well, increasingly, we're seeing the digital emergence of social media and the power of the TikTok generation, the power of Instagram, and destinations really are becoming Instagrammable by the photos and images that are taken. And I think if I go back in time to when I was young, it was looking at the Lonely Planet for inspiration or reading about books, etc. And now it's very much about the power of the image and the power of videos. And I think increasingly destinations, attractions, hotels, cruise ships, airlines that are engaging with social media effectively, using pictures, using images, using videos in a very, very effective way can really help drive demand. And often that can be from younger growing audiences rather than perhaps some of the more traditional demographics.